top of the page 5 is Resolution 158.
Madam Chair.
Resolution 15. Mr. Onishi? Sorry.
Yeah, is it possible, because we have Deputy Corporation Counsel Bill Brahanti here for Bill 102, so when he needs to go someplace else, so is it possible to take that out of order?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Onishi. That was Bill 102?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, I'm just going to check with everybody. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, the bottom of page 7, please read Bill 102.
Bill 102, Planning Director initiated, amends Chapter 25, Article 4, Division 5, and Article 7, Division 2 of the Hawaii County Code 1983, 2005 edition as amended, relating to increased residential density, including parking requirements within CDH, Downtown, Hilo Commercial, CDH District. The Windward Planning Commission forwards a favorable recommendation to the Council regarding the Planning Director's request for an amendment to Chapter 25 relating to increase in residential density, including parking requirements within the CDH zoning district, introduced by Mr. Kern by request approved PC 41.
We have a motion to approve.
Move to approve Bill 102.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Kern and second by Mr. Alagon. Is there a discussion? Mr. Yoshimoto.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So just to review what we heard from testifiers, I guess earlier this morning as well as at the committee meeting, this is basically a bill that has been supported by testifiers coming forward. There were some concerns about parking, and as far as I can tell in reading the bill and talking to the people who are going to be directly involved, they're in favor of the increase in density. They believe that it'll help downtown with establishing a community of residents, as well as limiting the number of cars, because there isn't a big parking requirement as far as this proposal, and in that way it's encouraging people to own fewer cars or to basically walk. So as far as the parking concern, otherwise I think I don't recall hearing any testimony against this bill. So I know council members did have some concerns. I would answer any questions if they have them, but otherwise I'd ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments?
Madam Chair?
Ms. Ford? Oh, okay. Mr. Onishi, I'll come to you right after Ms. Ford
thank you.
then.
Thank you. I'm going to vote for this. I'm going to do a Honolulu yes vote on this. I still have the exact same concerns I have about the parking issues, but this is not my district, and I'm going to just express my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Onishi.
Yeah, thank you. Is Mr. Kanuha, Director Kanuha in Kona?
Yes, he is. Director Kanuha, could you please come forward to the testifier table? Okay.
Good morning, Council Chairman and members of the Council. Here I am.
Hi, good morning. I just...
That's Director Kanuha.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, Mr. Kanuha. I just wanted to kind of get your input and also, kind of pick your brain on seeing if it's possible to maybe doing this like a pilot project to see how this works out and to see how it involves within the downtown Hilo, because like I said, when I was the representative down in downtown Hilo, they always wanted to, one of the main concerns was parking and so forth, but as the testifier mentioned, during certain times, but the way they were always pushing was that we need always more parking and stuff like that. But then also they were talking about how the buildings should be be constructed, right, and to kind of give that I guess that older look and so forth, or that that more historical look. And what I heard too, I guess in the past couple of days, was that there was some kind of a zoning before or something like that, and that that's when they built that Bayshore Towers. So maybe you can kind of give some history if you know anything, or like what is your thoughts about like trying to do like a pilot project?
Okay, as it stands now, the bill that's before you was recommended for approval by the department. It received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission, and that's what you have before you. So I guess what you're asking me is whether or not I have concerns about kind of a blanket zoning category without, I don't know, maybe some more analysis in terms of the timing or the need for this. Is
Correct.
that what you're asking?
Yes, correct.
Okay. First of all, I took a look at the area that's included in this proposed bill, and there's actually 3 million square feet of private property that, if this bill is passed, potentially could be turned into, let's assume for discussion purposes that all of this 3 million square feet was turned into residential units at this particular density. Okay, so under the existing density of 1,000 feet per unit at the existing density, it's easy math, right? You're looking at 3,000 additional units. If all of the available private property in the area covered by this zone was used for residential units, you'd have 3,000, okay? Under this amended, which doubles that, you could end up with 6,000 residential units, okay? Now that's just across the board, assuming everyone, goes into this kind of project. The other component that you should be aware of in Hilo is that, there's a lot of really small properties and parcels that are involved. So for someone to want to move forward with a project to gain the benefits of this additional density, there would be some work involved to assemble, these types of properties. Now that this bill also has the on-site parking requirement in it, that may take a little more work. So I guess what I'm trying to indicate here is that, first of all, the probability of 6,000 units happening in downtown is probably really remote, because that's just a gross computation on what's available to do this. Now, what that number will be, I really don't know. The last residential building, I believe, that was constructed in downtown Hilo was in the 1980s, for example. Since then, though, there have been various new commercial projects. There have been renovations of existing buildings for restaurants. KTA downtown did some renovation to their property. McDonald's relocated and took up, a whole corner block. So you're starting to see some revitalization of commercial activity down there. So, I think in in summary, all this bill does is offers an alternative, an opportunity for someone who wants to participate in in a project like this, to perhaps try and make it go. How successful it may be, that's another situation, depending upon the density that you would be seeking. Downtown Hilo is a tough place to do things, again, because the properties are really small. You have the tsunami inundation issues, that are down there, which means that the buildings have to be elevated, etc. But I guess in the long run, my analysis is that as an opportunity, I would support this. Now, as in terms of maybe supporting it as a pilot, proposal, just to see how far it goes. Given the statistics of what's available and what the chances are of, just a lot of these kind of units coming on board, and I really don't, foresee that happening, over a period of time. I'm comfortable with the bill, the way it's come up to you at this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I guess we could, so pass the bill and then see how it goes. But do you also think that, well, I guess that would be a different issue about the. I was thinking about the 1,000. Right now with what the bill is. I mean, what the original bill is about the 1,000 square foot with no parking. But then that's a different issue. So I'll talk to you about that one later. But Hilo, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Willie.
Let me just say, I support this, and I don't think that we ought to be doing it as a pilot project. I think it's not as if there was a substantial number of constituents coming in here and opposing it. It is in I understand it, Jay Yoshimoto's district. I try to respect what the council member most, where it has to do with such decisions as this. And I'd also like to say that if there is a problem in the future and we need to deal with parking issues in Hilo, that we deal with them. But we don't stop something that I think will add to making Hilo a more vibrant community. And for me also, I think it was Mark Fenton who came here and spoke a few years ago about the vibrancy of communities and promoting more residential use. It makes it safer. When I walk around Hilo, I think you have sort of more. It's sort of like a automatic neighborhood watch. Right now, you can walk and feel sort of deserted. The last time I was walking through the Palace Theater, and I'm thinking about it. And if more people live there, you sort of take on this evening and night roll. So I feel it's important for safety. It also eliminates some traffic. People start walking, start feeling they don't have to have a car, that they can actually exist without it. So I think just in terms of promoting Hilo as a really vibrant community, that this is important. And I'm getting somewhat to the point of maybe there's a problem, maybe there's this. We need to just do it and do things and make a decision. And if there is a problem going forward, we'll hear about it. Thanks. I support this.
Thank you, Ms. Willie. Yes, Mr. Yoshimoto.
Okay, I just wanted to close. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll really be quick. Okay, Director Kanuha mentioned revitalization of downtown Hilo. I think, that's a very accurate statement, because I think, those of us as remember downtown Hilo growing up, it had a certain character, then it sort of kind of degraded a little bit, to be, really blunt about it. But now there is a concerted effort by the Downtown Improvement Association, merchants, and people, to make it more vibrant, as Ms. Willie had talked about. So this is one approach to doing it, is to encourage increased density, which would encourage residents to live there, be a part of the community, support the businesses. And, when you walk through downtown Hilo, you'll see that there are a number of different places, culturally diverse businesses that really you can't find, you can find in different small communities, I guess is a more accurate statement, but it is a destination. As Ms. Willie said, the more good people are there, then, the bad tend to leave. I mean, that's just an obvious function of good people moving in. And so I think, this is an effort to do that. I hope it succeeds. This is an effort, to do something rather than just hope for something. Parking is an issue no matter where you go. One of the testifiers mentioned that, sometimes when he goes through there isn't a problem. And that's true, because I go downtown Hilo, 2 or 3 times a week, and, sometimes you have to look for parking, but our definition of looking for parking means you don't want to walk, 50 yards away, whereas if you're on Oahu, you'd be happy to get anything, right? So everything is relative, but do we need more parking? Yes. Do we need parking everywhere? Probably yes. So nothing is perfect, but I think, this is definitely doing something, and so I ask for council member support. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Mr. Kanuha. Oh, sorry. Yes, Mr. Onishi? Okay. Oh, he's yielding.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to just make a comment, because what Ms. Willie said. But yes, you can react now and we can just approve everything. But to me, we need to look in the future. We need to look what's going to happen 10, 20 years from now, and hopefully we can plan it out correctly. And that's all I'm saying, is that making the plan, kind of making it where we don't have to, we're letting other councils to have to do or fix a problem. So we can plan it correctly now for 10 to 20, 25 years, like a vision, a future vision, then it's good. To me, that's proper. But just to do things and just get it pushed down and just move forward and then deal with problems later, I think that's not good. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Poindexter?
I just want to say that I'm supporting this bill because I have several towns like that, Honamu, Honaka'a, and Kukuihaile, that we're looking to revitalize. And this is a good example of that. And like I support with what Ms. Willie had stated, if there becomes problems later, then we can address it. But we need to start revitalizing so that we can see if what we need to improve on or not. And if you don't start, you'll never start the revitalization process. So I'm in support of this wholeheartedly. So mahalo.
Thank you. Ms. Willie?
Yeah, I just want to say, Councilmember Fresh, I appreciate what you're saying, and I do think we need to be foresight, and if there was substantial concern from the community, I would, look more, and I'm not trying to slam this through, so I want to say we're all trying to look at it, and we don't have foresee the future, but one of my fears is if we were to do it as a pilot program and I were looking to come in and revitalize a building or do something, I might decide against it. I just think all of this is on balance, and I think Ms. Ford shared some of Councilmember Onishi's concerns, and I think we all have them. We're all trying to balance it out in the best way, and I think it may be something, Director Kanuha, that in the future we might ask you to come back and report to us what is happening and what is going on, and do we need to make some adjustments in this policy. So, Councilmember Fresh, I appreciate what you're saying, and I think we're all trying to stay on the same track. Thanks.
Thank you. If there are no further comments, I think we can go ahead and vote on Bill 102, that first reading. Ms. Ford?
Kanalua. Mr. Lagun?
Aye.
Mr. Kanuha?
Aye.
Mr. Kern?
Aye.
Mr. Onishi?
Aye.
Ms. Poindexter?
Aye.
Ms. Willie?
Aye.
Mr. Ishimoto? Ms. Ford?
Aye.
Chair Eoff?
Aye.
Chair Eoff, you have 9 ayes.
Thank you. Bill 102 will move to second reading. Council members, at this time, I'd like to take a 5-minute recess. Thank you.